everybody again.
Hi.
Tiara here and
Anne-Kathrin and baby.
Bailey. Aw, I feel like I need winter now.
Aw.
Still would be really funny if we started a video with her on my lap, like
Yeah.
you alien in the future. Would never work. Anyway, hello everyone. We're going to do sort of a unique topic today and talk about New Year's resolutions and just self-improvement in general, and sort of get how our beliefs on them and how things have been going for us individually. And then I have sort of a little thing to announce and share at the end.
Exciting.
So, yeah. So I guess we'll start off with what resolutions have we like set for ourselves this year at the beginning of the year, and then we'll sort of go into which ones we feel like we're doing well with, which ones we feel like we're not really doing well with, and then talk about why we've been successful or unsuccessful so far. And it is like the end of January, so it's like we have a month's worth of whatever happened.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So do you have some in mind, or do you want me to start with mine?
Yeah, sure, I can start. Well, I'm going to start with the one that is not going well, because I like to end positive. The one that's not going that well is eating healthy. I feel like I'm doing it 50% well, you know. I still have a lot of improvement there. I was planning on eating really healthy and dropping the carbs and just really starting with healthy cooking at home. And now I feel like I've only been doing it 2 out of the 4 weeks, because it's just a lot of effort to do it. And it just takes a lot of motivation for me to do it. So that's one that I'm not that successful with right now. So I'm quite disappointed.
What do you feel like would be helpful, or what's holding you back from like doing it more? You said it because it just takes a lot of time or effort or planning. Or...
well, the planning, it's just the meal planning, which is really keeping me from keeping my resolution, because you basically have to sit down for half an hour or 45 minutes to plan out the recipes that you're going to cook for the week, and to do the groceries for it. And of course you do groceries anyways, but for junk food it's so easy, you know. You just it's so easy to do it.
It's so accessible. That's the problem.
And with healthy food really takes a lot of effort. So I'm a bit disappointed that is not going that well, actually. So I know you're a nutritionist, so I would be
I'm not actually a nutritionist, so don't.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's like I have so my coaching certification is in Integrative Nutrition, which is basically the idea that along with food, there other things in our lives that nourish us. So it's more like a holistic approach of like, you know, moving towards eating healthy and crowding out things that are not healthy. But in terms of like nutritionists of like macronutrients and all that stuff, I don't know anything about that. But yeah, I mean, eating healthy and cooking and like doing all that type of stuff are things that I love and things that I think I do pretty well. But yeah, we can certainly talk more. I mean, I'm curious, you said there are some times that you have been able to cook healthy, like 50% of the time. So when you are cooking healthy 50% of the time, like why is that working 50% of the time?
Well, the thing is, like, one week at the start of the year, I was like, okay, let's rock those resolutions. And I made the meal planning and really got into it. And then the week after, I knew how much work it took. So I was like, okay, I don't want to do that much work. So I didn't cook that healthy. So the week after, I felt bad for not cooking healthy, so I got back on my resolution. And this week I was like, it's too much effort. So it's like this vicious cycle of guilt, and then overcompensating, and then guilt.
Oh, it's a vicious cycle, isn't it?
Yes, it's very
I think just as like a friend and talking about this, what I would probably say to that is like making it more simple, because so like I think there's room even for me to eat healthier. But I mean, I think, you know, for the most part, I cook most of what we eat, but there are definitely times where I'm just like too tired, or like now that I'm living back at home, like Matt and I will cook sometimes, but like half the time probably right now we're doing takeout, and we just try to order like what we like or things that are healthy. But for the most part, I just try to do, like, I let myself have that little bit of wiggle room, because I think if you get into this idea of like, I have to eat healthy every meal every day, then it just becomes like a stressor of like, oh, I didn't plan it, I don't have anything to do right now. You know, it's like you can order takeout or do whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
But what I do that works for me in terms of like cooking and eating healthier is like, I mean, maybe it helps that I have some sort of a cooking and food background, but for me, it's easier to go to the store with like 2 bulk meals in mind. Like, okay, what do I need to make like a big pot of stir fry and a big pot of soup for the next couple days to have like 2 meals pull out as leftovers in the fridge or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, is I know some people don't like leftovers. So if you're one of those people, then
I love leftovers.
You know?
I love them because it's
you love them. Okay.
money and time.
But the other thing is like, so I know people who don't like leftovers who eat healthy, and the thing is just like cutting up everything. But I guess it is. It's like you just have to think of a couple of meals that you can go to the store and get like bulk ingredients for, so that you can chop and cook everything sort of like in one day. And then you can just reach in the fridge later and grab like hummus and carrots and celery that are already like prepared. And then it's just as easy to grab that as it is to grab.
That's so smart, to just meal prep. And also I just thought of maybe I should just, because right now I put a lot of effort into finding recipes every time. But what if I find 31 healthy recipes and put them each on a card, and then each month I just have like this bunch of cards, and then I just pull one.
Oh, that's genius. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I just pull 7 for 1 week, and then I do the groceries for that. And I have the grocery list on the cards, you know?
I would even say, I mean, that's a great idea, but I would even say just pick like 2 or 3 for the week. Don't pick 7. Because you don't want to be cooking 7 meals. You know what I mean? Because for me, I mean, and this is like I'm a household of 2, although actually I am cooking meals for winter now, which we could talk about later. But just to give her some extra nutrients, because I just don't feel like her kibble is giving her anything. And then we tried raw, and raw was like a little too intense for her stomach. So we're doing like a little bit of whatever. We're doing that's dog stuff we can talk about later. But like, so cooking for a family, like just 2 people. You know, like I'll go to the store and buy enough stuff to make like a big stir fry, and then like a big pot of like curry or pad thai or something. And then that usually gets us through at least 2 meals.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then we have like a lunch and dinner option, or, you know, like one day like some days we do lunch and dinner both pulled from what I've cooked, or we just do like lunch, takeout, dinner leftovers. Yeah. And some days we're super lazy. It's like just takeout all day. But the more like we get back into a routine and a schedule, like I like to cook more, and he wants to start cooking more too. But yeah, I mean, I would suggest, like, that's an awesome idea that you just thought of. Maybe just start with like
make it too big. Yeah.
Yeah, because even I have all these recipes in my head, and even like 2 or 3 recipes gets us through the week.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, definitely. And you can also freeze in some food, so you don't. Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah.
And I think actually another, just if you're like trying to get your toes wet with eating healthier, I would say like get a bunch of fruit and vegetables that you like to snack on. Yeah. And then when you buy them from the store, bring them home and prepare them. I mean, like, if you have a bunch of fresh fruit, you don't want to cut everything up because it's going to go bad in a couple days once you cut it.
But like
what's been working really well for me is like, I'll buy, you know, some apples, some bananas, some like, you know, mangoes, whatever. And then get like carrots, celery, and, you know, whatever other vegetables you like to snack on. And then pick a couple days a week that you just like chop everything up and put them in containers in the fridge. Because then when you go in the kitchen and you're hungry later, instead of like grabbing the cookies or something, it's just as easy.
Yeah, it's good to have a healthy
fruit that's already prepared, you know.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna try it. It's so good too. So thank you.
Yeah. So we talked about a little bit of like why that worked for you, and why, or like when it does work for you, why it does work, and when it doesn't, why it doesn't. Yeah. And so you shared a little bit of like what your resolutions were. And so I'll just give you a couple of mine.
I'm curious. Let me know.
So I had like 3 main things that I was really wanting to focus on at the moment, which was drinking more water, keeping more up on like housework, like cleaning, doing the dishes, like just keeping things tidy. And then the third one is working on winter separation anxiety. Those are my 3 biggest things. And I've started to realize, like, I have this issue with chronic dehydration, And I actually fainted when I was 14 from dehydration. And that's like
Oh
what
my God.
started all of my bizarre health issues and the journey that I've been on for the past 15 years. But did Siri just wake up?
Siri woke up. Yeah, I had to shut her down. But
That's really funny.
I didn't want to.
Siri's like, I'm awake. Do you need me? What's going on? But yeah, so let's see. So
So you had dehydration issues.
Yeah,
so
right. And so the 3 resolutions, like I've been realizing more and more, obviously, as I've gotten older, like how important water is. And like after I fainted in high school, I started drinking only water, so that even though I wasn't drinking enough liquid, if whatever I had was water, was helpful versus like having soda or whatever.
Yeah.
But still, even that, like because I've been dehydrated so long, like throughout my life, I don't really have a good thirst mechanism.
Oh,
So I don't even get thirsty. Like when I eat meals, I don't drink water. It's just because I don't have the like
need
something got disconnected where it like doesn't tell me I'm thirsty. So I'm realizing over time, and I actually really want to buy this book that I meant to read and never did. And now I'm like, something in my intuition is like, you need to focus on water. Like,
yeah.
And it's called You're Not Sick, You're Thirsty. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's all about how like water there's like this doctor who studied water and showed through all these like case studies that all disease can be traced back to like dehydration. It's just like mind blowing. So I want to read this book anyway to like instill it in my mind, why it's so important. But so the one resolution that I am doing really well with, and I don't know about you, like what your least favorite chore is, but I hate doing the dishes.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
just like, it's my least favorite chore. Like whatever, I'd rather do like anything else but clean the dishes. And it was kind of a tension point before, like living with Matt, because he was the one doing the dishes most of the time, and we had like different ways of doing the dishes. But I spent that 3 or 4 months in Colorado, like on my own and living in other people's houses. And that was like, because I was aware of the fact that I was in someone else's space, I really had to keep track of like, I'm not going to leave any dishes in the sink because it's not really fair to like everyone else, like especially the first living situation I was in, they were basically doing me a favor by living there, like letting me live there for free.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not leaving a single dish in the sink because I would just feel so terrible. So it was a couple months of me like programming my brain to remember like, oh, go clean up after yourself. Go make sure there's nothing left over. So that actually, because I was going through that process of like being like having that thought often throughout the day, like to go just clean up after myself immediately as soon as I cook something, it helped sort of instill that habit. So when I got home, I was able to continue to do that. And that's the other thing is, like, if you're having a hard time changing a habit or making like a new lifestyle change, sometimes getting out of your environment and setting it up somewhere else is really helpful.
Yeah.
So that you're not like in the same, like,
good one. Yeah.
Whatever. But I haven't done any work with winter separate. I mean, I've done a little bit of work with separation anxiety, but like the ones that I'm not doing well with are ones that I haven't been able to sort of like change like the brain pattern, like change the pathway in my mind that's like normally saying something else versus like drink water. It's just saying, I don't care about water, like whatever I say.
Yeah.
Or I don't need water, basically, is I think more of what my brain has been saying. But so like for me, that's what I think is like, it's about setting up that like pathway in your brain that's telling you to do a different habit, like make a different choice consciously versus just having it be like a subconscious program of habit builds,
It's really about being conscious with your choices, because like the other resolution that I also had this year, and that is going well, is to save more money, to attract money, and to just really be in a good financial state at the end of the year. And I've really been working hard on that one, both in mindset and also in working hard. And I really set my mind to it, and I'm like, I'm going to do that. And that one is going well. So it's all about mindset and being really 100% in it and making things in habit. And I think it's really good.
Right. And I always say, like in my coaching, that everything is about awareness, because you can't really change something about your lifestyle or the way you think until you
Definitely.
become aware of it. And that's like the biggest thing with the water thing for me, is like I really want to drill it in my brain, like why it's so important, and like how I've struggled with it in the past and why I've struggled with it, and just like having that awareness around all of those things, like why it's important to you, why you've struggled. Because
Yeah.
if you don't know those things, you're not conscious of them, then you're basically just operating on like the subconscious program you've already, like over the years, have like carved in your brain.
Yes,
So
yes. Definitely.
yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and what I was teasing at the beginning of the video is, so I'm brewing. I have this idea brewing of creating a challenge for my followers of like bringing to light what it is that people have set for their New Year's resolutions, and maybe why they're not going well. And that's the other thing, is I think it's pretty common for people to say, like, let's say, and I'm just picturing like a water cooler situation, like if you work in a corporate environment or something, and there's like a bunch of people there and you guys catch up every day, and it's very like superficial, and someone's like, oh yeah, how is your New Year's resolution going, and you're like, it's going great, and you just like don't tell the truth. Like
It's
no one
not
wants to admit that
that they
just
failed
at the
on
end of
their
January, yeah,
themselves.
that it's not working. And so I think it would be sort of healing, and I want to sort of do this challenge of where everyone can sort of say, like, this is what I set out to do, this is what's working well, and actually this isn't really working well, and like maybe you feel badly about it, but then if you also see that there are hundreds of other people who are having the same
Same boat.
snag
Yeah.
in their improvement process, then it's like, oh, it normalizes it, and it makes it easy to talk about. And then if it's easy to talk about and you become aware of it, then it's easier to move forward from there. So
Yeah,
um,
definitely.
so I'm coming up with this idea of like ironing out the details of how I'm going to deliver this to everybody. But if you want to join, and I guess we could have mentioned this before, we do have a Facebook group that Anne-Kathrin has so graciously organized, and I have piggybacked onto
Yeah.
for self-improvement for highly sensitive people. And I think we're still working on like putting more content in there at some point. But if you want to join it, you'll get messages from us occasionally. You'll see posts from other people. It's kind of a great community to sort of talk about what it is everyone's working on, and give support
Yeah.
to each other. So we'll put the link in the description. So if you want to join on this little challenge that I'm making, you want to hear more
Awesome.
about it, join the
Yes,
group.
please do.
Watch out for a post from me.
So definitely join it. You can find the link in the bio. So basically that's it about New Year's resolutions. So if you want to join the challenge, just click on the link in our bio, and yeah, feel free to comment what your resolution was this year and how you're keeping up with it. We're very curious to read your comments. So yeah, basically, see you next time.
Bye.
Bye bye.